My name is Marina Stout, and I chose to do my presentation on the African bush elephant. I have always had an interest in elephants, and the African bush elephant has always been my favorite. The common name, African bush elephant, is very different than the scientific name, Loxodonta africana. The African elephant does not have many relatives, resulting in a relatively small phylogenetic tree. If you look at the living portion of this tree, there are only two living relatives, the Asian elephant, Elephas, and the larger African elephant. The two species are closely related to the extinct mammoths that once roamed this earth. There were some changes after the mammoth went extinct. The tooth enamel decreased, the height of the molars increased, and the cranium heightened. The extinct and extant species all originated in Africa during the Pliocene era some 3 to 4 million years ago. Loxodonta never dispersed. The Elephas traveled from Africa to Asia, where the Asian elephant remains to this day. The African bush elephant resides in Africa, but only in a fairly concentrated area. Historically, they were found south of the Sahara Desert to the south tip of Africa. Now these elephants have dispersed horizontally from the Atlantic or the western coast of Africa to the Indian Ocean in the east. Environmental factors do have some effect on the dispersion of the species, but it is not very significant. As we know, we are able to keep elephants in outside enclosures and zoos in Michigan without too much climate control. However, they do thrive in the hot African climate. The main resource that elephants need in the natural world is water, because of how much they consume in just one day. African elephants consume on average 22 to 30 gallons of water a day. They also need to eat between 330 and 350 pounds of food a day. They feed mostly on grasses, being that they are herbivores. However, they will eat leaves, twigs, branches, and bark. Because African elephants are forced to travel all day in search of food and water, they greatly impact their surrounding environment. African bush elephants create and destroy many things while they are traveling. They destroy bushes and pull trees up by their roots, but they also create watering holes in the hot savanna by digging in dry riverbeds and packing the sides with mud. Their destruction primarily turns the wooded areas into grasslands. Humans have had a very negative impact on elephants. The only predators of the African bush elephant are humans. The ivory market is very successful and continues to thrive, even with all the ivory and poultry bans that are in place. Because elephants do not have any natural predators, they have a low infant mortality rate. That is part of what makes elephants a case-selected species. They also have a very low lifespan that is averaged at 70 years. Their habitats are relatively undisturbed, and they have excellent paternal care. Their strong paternal care, along with their matriarchal society, are what make the African bush elephant extremely interesting. A matriarchal society is formed when the eldest female in the herd takes charge. Their herds are primarily formed by females. Male elephants tend to be more solitary and often only join the herd to mate. A herd of African bush elephants have some very unique qualities. They have a complex social structure which allows them to mourn over their deceased herd members. They perform a sort of ritual when they come across a deceased member by taking a silent pause and then touching that member softly with their trunks. Elephants tend to be naturally soft-hearted creatures. They are especially tender when it comes to the younger elephants. When baby elephants, or calves, are born, all of the members of the herd become guardians for that calf. An elephant has the longest gestation period of any land animal, which can be between 630 to 660 days. When calves are born, they are said to be precocial, meaning that they have full motor skills shortly after they are born. African bush elephants are able to walk within 2 hours of being born. African elephants have always been my favorite because of how unique and emotional they are. Not many people know how intelligent elephants are, how quickly they are diminishing from the earth. They are endangered, and I hope that someday, soon, their population will rise again.